Okay. God, it's been one thing after another. First, the notification says, hey, we're doing Pillars, and we're not doing Pillars tonight. We're doing Final Fantasy 2. I swear I changed the thing. Okay, game audio and Jibbles audio, love it. Beautiful. That's what we're after. Fuck. We had some authentication issue. Here's this too. Let's just provide some ASMR. Brush that away. We got quite a few follows, so I need to take a look to see if they're... And they probably are. But maybe not. We're just doing searches on the 3 follows that came up immediately. As soon as I went live, so it's usually a bad sign. Yeah, if they've got no presence, they get blocked, sorry. Which sucks, but this is the problem with having a mostly unmoderated like user base that is currently experiencing a lot of Perrybot. I have not. What is that? Tell me all about it, please. Ooh. A card site. Oh, I remember a little bit about Seribot, and it's a I hate to say it, but I remember people complaining that they were accidentally hit. Neat. That's pretty neat. It is a concern.
There is a wind.
Like, I absolutely don't want to get hit by a hate raid. I think I'd be okay after a little bit of, like, breathing. It probably won't spike my anxiety too much, because I know it's pretty bad. But they say hateful shit in a chat where I don't want it to be a hateful shit, so... I think that'd be really bad. Now... I've... Actually... Like that. There we go. Okay, there you go. We're actually done. Like that, I didn't think that would take too long, and I'm glad it did. Thank you, Mako. Good lord, you're really helpful. I really appreciate all the assistance you're giving us. Yeah, and as soon as I started getting the username right of Seribot, it started working perfectly. Yeah, exactly. And I'm looking forward to that. I'm pretty sure I'm free Friday night, so I'll jump in for as long as I can. If I get exhausted, who knows, but pretty pleased. want to do this. Yeah, okay. Well, just a bit of fucking about, but I certainly feel a little bit safer. And now that I've changed the like the stream info again because it defaulted to pillars, hey Luxy, game sounds, me sounds, that's a plus. It's ridiculous. I changed what the stream's going to be about, like the after. Like I edit the details of what the game is going to be on Wednesday, late Monday night, and then by the time we get back to it, it's switched back. Oh well, bit silly. Maybe I need to do it closer to. Okay, now that we're all up and going, let's have the controller, and I'll click, well, press any key and hit load game, and let's go. And move the cursor away so you can't actually see it. We had our second episode last time, and Furion and Maria and Guy and Gordon, who leveled up relatively quickly because he wasn't using a shitty spear, and we're like, alright, we'll continue using a cool spear. We'll give you a new one. And then I believe, like, we did a longish dungeon. Wildwood. Good to see you again from Wildwood. Leveling up rubber bands, that's useful. Oh, yeah, and the town was at least mostly blown up as well, because as soon as you're given a game, that's right. Scary Enix has said, okay, you've been given a plot to work in, we're going to make a plot now, and it involves a lot of death, and towns being destroyed as well, with relatively peaceful and almost idyllic sort of problems found in Final Fantasy 1. It is interesting that we've moved directly to Final Fantasy 2 with a very dark tale. And I don't see the retreat to... So let me give you a second. The question of Final Fantasy 1 as a translation of Dungeons and Dragons to a JRPG format. It actually makes a lot of sense that the first story they go through is mostly given through, like, data dumps at the very end. That's where most of the story came from. A bit of dialogue with the main enemy, villain, NPC, and then, like, a data dump as soon as you cross the bridge at the beginning of the game, and a data dump at the very end, after you save everybody, because that's kind of what old adventure paths were like. A series of fetch quests or single things you need to do, bookended with particular results. And that's neat as hell. I don't think that, although we're actually really covering, I don't think that all stories go in that same sort of format where they'll, like, your role-playing game starts very simple, then get slightly more complicated, and then you end up with some you could even consider hyper-complicated stories with later JRPGs. But I think it's a decent examination of why you may recognize your role-playing game stories look like this as well when you're starting out. You're like, it's a place, here's a world, it's got lots of towns, it's got lots of world building, and sometimes these towns have individual unique quirks about them, but that's it. Like, other than that, your plot is I'm going to go to this place, and this place, and this place, and we'll see what's cool about each individual place. It only does one at a time. Or maybe it would do both at a higher level. I certainly don't hate the the story evolved and the first opportunity was given to evolve in a new direction. Well, I have a plot, you know, with a series of events. I'm trying to level my Asuna, I am. I guess maybe I'll do it in combat, huh? While we beat up these, we'll cast the Asuna on everyone to no result. Huh? That'll work. We'll really need it, I bet. We'll beat up these turtles and they won't kill us. Weirdly enough, the first time in a long time that I wanted to develop my own role-playing game in my own setting, I did the same thing Square Enix did here. And when I was playing a very standard Fifth Ed, the players had already created their characters as part of a challenge given out by Professor Jibble's Dice Bag podcast. God, that was fun. Miss Shield, just on a turtle. Go us. Soon as nearly leveled up. Cool. That was quite effective. We'll do that for a little bit. And I did. I spent a lot of time in the world building, and I built like vaguely interesting towns and NPCs, and didn't give too much thought to what the overall plot was. And I quite often let that overarching plot. Oh, look at that magician and soldier. I hope I get another one of those. I'd love to look at that magician more. I let an overarching plot just build itself over time, you know? I wasn't super interested in writing that out beforehand. And much like Square Enix did in Final Fantasy 1, I create... Well, it wasn't Square Enix at that point. Not yet. Soon. Wildwood, it was a fun game. It was a fun campaign. We fucked about. I got to mess around with people by, like, introducing cool things in cool places and saying, alright, have fun. And there's a pull that comes in two directions that hit me hard, like the middle of it. I wanted to bring a thematic element to pull all of it together. And so I made things fit, and they did, but honestly the most fun and the bits... Oh, look at that. That looks dangerous. The bits I remembered and enjoyed the most were the fucking about early go from town to town, see what's here in this cool space. Dreadnaught time. Alright, let's do it. We could afford a tent, we didn't buy one. Because we're just not responsible enough to buy tents. So if I could go back and do that again, and I guess the only and or best way to do that is to run similar games with other people, is to not lean into the desire to make everything make sense. And when I get the feeling that some players are like, I'm coming to the end of this enthusiasm for this game, it's very good, but if I want to move on and try something new, I shouldn't try and force a third act climax. It didn't make a lot of sense, right? What we should have done is come to the, like, dealt with the town we were talking to, and then celebrate, because we'd celebrated it, and we do a small denouement and come back to them later. The whole thing was side quest. Mega's like, yeah. I know I'm running away from my objective. I'm taking the long route. I'm also gonna fucking die, apparently. My idea was I will run past them and go all the way up to a town to buy a tent. Instead, we've found random encounter outlines that are killing us. We're all paralyzed and we're gonna die. That's so good. That's amazing. No, we failed to run. Beautiful. I should bring attention to something Wildwood said in chat. It's very good. Like, let the story be a wondrous beast to be chased and never catch. 1,000 years ago, no, just right in front of the Dreadnaught. Well, I would have bought tents, They're just so expensive. Um, I was just gonna run over to get a tent. Because I wanted to have one. But oh well. It's actually not that bad. And Wildwood also says ambiguous endings are good. They're like, that's fantastic. I agree. It should be. But it's hard to let go. All of the inspiration we have for games, nearly all of the inspiration we have for games, role-playing games, movies, TV shows, actual plays, all of it. And people will immediately blame the huge, crit roll. They'll blame crit roll immediately for putting these expectations in their head. But it comes from every established narrative, is that things have set arcs, and stories are planned out and end in normal, like, in predictable but not too predictable ways. All D&D campaigns should end with a one-shot of wander home or venture just to do denouement and chill time to gently say goodbye. That's good stuff. Yeah, I like that. Absolutely. Swap to a system that is less combat and or challenge victory. Like, challenge then victory, challenge then victory. That's what the experience cycle is. It's also how every question is handled. Can you do something? Let's challenge that concept and then do it. And then roll to see if you do it. Move to a system that's like more interested in resolving. Come on, make it. You don't have to. You don't have to. You could RP it out, but as Wildwood and I have said a couple of times, pre-written systems and systems do the heavy lifting for you at times. And if you have a pre-written system or an established system that will do some of your lifting for you in combat to extract out the I stabbed you, no you didn't, you missed, bang bang, playing, which is free-form play on the playground as kids, then that's useful. That's what a lot of D&D does. You can also use the system that will abstract out, how do I feel about this? Like, okay, roll on the table and see what happens. And in worst case scenario, that's someone telling you how you're supposed to feel. But best case, it's like, me as a player, I don't know how the character would react in the circumstance. Let's add some randomness. And that's fun. And if you have a game that does that for you, you won't be looking for a fight. In some circumstances, when you're playing Dungeons and Dragons, it does feel like you are looking for the next fight. I shouldn't say even I, that's very arrogant of me. Really buying some just in case, I don't have a tent, I've only got a cottage. Could use one of those too as well. We've been running around without any restorative items. We've just been like raw dogging the random number generator and hoping we'll live. Don't use Mega says, don't you, coming from a constant text-based culture lately, don't use any system except combat on other PCs. Well, yeah, I mean, valid. That makes a lot of sense, especially online with text-based, where it's much harder for people to react to what you want to do in real time. Whew. Fantastic to have those blanket rules. And also, no PvP has been a long-standing rule in so many role-playing groups for the longest possible time. Not uncommon to have that explicit as well as implicit. Like, you can't just roll diplomacy in another player to change their opinion of you. And you're like, well, why not? It's a mechanic that works in universe. Does it not work in places with special? Arguments. But another way to conceptualize it is that you don't want to use tools that are meant to be used on non-people. On people. Because it makes this feel less important. But there are other systems that deliberately say tools you can use on players, tools that you use on NPCs can be used on other players, and they roll with it. It's an expected part of play. Here's how to feel Here's like a primer on how to feel when you do that. And that's cool at times. Well, I wanted to walk directly onto the Dreadnaught right after saving in almost perfect condition, but no! Larksy, you would like me to repeat the earlier statement of I can't believe we haven't bought any healing items just in case. We've just been raw dogging the random number generator and hoping we're going to come out okay. Alright, we're here at the Dreadnaught. We're here in the dungeon. I've been doing a little bit of reading, so I also know that once we complete this dungeon, we can't come back. So we've got to make sure to kill everything and pick up all the loot. Okay? Gunfire? Nothing happens. Canoe? No, alright. What about... we have the pass there. What if we have an airship pass? Oh, I'm terribly sorry. Welcome aboard. Well, it's time for the next watch. If you'll excuse me. Bishop, who just gets off the ship. Build conflict systems and primarily PvP compatibility in mind. Duel of Wits and EW. And then conflicts in DITV. I don't know, I don't remember what those games are right now. I'm afraid I've been disconnected from the PvP RPG scene online. Jeez, a ghast? That looks more like a zombie. Don't say wild rose here. What if I do though? Rebel curse. Oh, well, I just spoke for them out of nowhere. You know what? I think we can take him. I'm not super concerned. I bet we can take this guy. It's not a lot of damage. Maybe I should be a little concerned. We had a pass. I successfully spoke to someone just a moment ago and they seemed relatively calm. Jibbles doesn't learn lessons. Jibbles pulls his trouble. We will strictly be fine. We're gonna be okay. Oh, what? Trine, why did you cast that on Gordon and not the last person you cast Hero? Oh, that's a great, super good thing to bring up, actually. I like that. Mako's like, these are the same sprite and enemy. And I'm like, yeah, it's true. And that is amazing, like, that technical shorthand nature of using the same sprite to designate the same enemy, so they react in the same way. That shorthand created by programmers so that, you know, like, they can save data. They have this item is also in this location that reacts in the same way. I said something, attacks you. But you could also say that it's showing players through. G'day Mako, thanks for joining us. It kind of tells the players what to expect. But you're priming them with information in a way that you may be a little bit harder to see. And I don't think that's explicitly like the the lesson he needs to take away. Oh, beat him, cool. And we even get like the death animation from a boss. How satisfying was that? That was totally worth it. We're gonna go outside and use one of our cottages already. I think the icing on the cake is the enemy doesn't disappear. When you beat him that way, he's still there. You can just say, "Hey, bro," and he'll say, "Rebel car!" right directly back at you. Gordon's growth sucks. Well, I guess he's not a grower then. We bought 5 of them, we might as well, right? Can I make a... We'll see you in the VODs, alright? Alright, so round 2. It's funny, on a fan page they'll like, by the end of the game, you'll get to know the phrase rebel curs really well. I'm like, I mean, you don't talk to that many of them, but alright. That's what I get for saying anything before we're there. Q level 5. Bam, full heal above the 1. A werepanther? Look at that little guy! Alright, bye. Oh. Shadow Ghoul Dust. Lots of undead here in this military installation. Very reasonable. Good. Look at that. This is well... Oh. I love being overpowered in RPGs. Again, to get the computer, of course. It's actually not as much fun being overpowered in, like, Pathfinder. It's satisfying to mow through them like that. Perfect. I don't know the right way to go, by the way. We're just wandering around. It may look like I'm walking with purpose, but I'm intentionally going in ways that I think are not the correct way. Like, you saw all 4 of the trap doors up there. Whoa, that's a stunner. Sorry. Well, this looks way too much like the actual way to go. Well, go on here. More werepanthers. Lovely. We're gonna see if I leveled up as soon it works. Ethereum. What you think? Level 2? With the... So, because there's no... Stats aren't leveling up just like by level. They're leveling up through you. It kind of implies there's no traditional level cap, and that generally means I'm bereft of my usual ability to see if I am way too highly level for the content I'm supposed to be doing. Which, again, is common with me, that's how I prefer. Because in Final Fantasy 1, the guide I was looking at, it was like, oh, you should be like level 30 before you try and fight the Lich. Not the Lich, it was like War Machine. And we were 44-ish. It's because I was walking around in the wrong places and messing everything up. And now I'm kind of left with this inability to know on a scale roughly how powerful we are. I mean, by how we're auto-attacking our way through, likely in a good state, though we're not certain. Because the bosses are pretty tough. Is this the right way? We don't want to go the right way. Good, good. Level 2. Maybe level 3 was right. I don't know. We're gonna spend a lot of time in the Dreadnaught and see how it goes. There we go. Okay, let's go. Ooh, chest. Dark bow. Amazing. I don't think... Let's try that, yeah. I think we took the bow off Furion because it reduced your casting a little bit. Bow that can plunge its target into darkness. I don't actually think applying darkness to enemies is worth it. Let's not bother. Which, I don't know, makes me a heathen in some religion or another, but it wouldn't be the first time. So, I could certainly have more reasons to throw me onto the pile. Get him. Well, I think we found her, right? I like the Shadow's art, even if it isn't specifically of a shadow. I believe I've said that before. Thieves' gloves. Alright, now what are they? Well, an enhanced agility. Keep that evasion chance up. That's great. It increases defense and evasion a lot. I actually think I want to put it on... Maria's squishy. She was built squishy. Okay, we're gonna look at this gate and see. You opened the iron gate. Yeah, I'm not going in there yet though. That's the princess. And the most... This could be dangerous. Quite a lot of them and they can all blow up. No, we're okay, cool. That's the princess. When we talk to her, the plot's gonna happen. Right? I haven't finished exploring. We can't let the princess out here. It's full of werepanthers. She'll be in trouble. Even if we go everywhere else, explore the whole Dreadnaught, they're like, okay, cool. Go back to the princess. We'll spend slightly more time than we might have. So what? I'm not... I wouldn't be super sad if we missed something and it wasn't our fault. But right now the game is giving me a choice to increase, like continue the plot or continue exploring. And I'm always going to pick explore. Which is funny because I don't like Skyrim or Fallout 3 for New Vegas. I have other issues with those games though. Less about exploring than anything else. The issues I have with those. It's all on you, buddy. Everyone else is paralyzed, Gordon. You can do this. Slightly better chances. Come on, buddy. Yeah, use that spear for great justice. Ah, it's okay. Guy's awake now. We'll be fine. You can shield. That how the engine feels so much like you're not inhabiting a world, but you're being driven around by someone who's dancing marionettes in front of you. You're exploring it, but yeah, it feels real video game. Given the opportunity to do everything, nothing feels like it matters. And I guess you could consider that, as a comparison. I want to jump back to tabletop games. If you start your tabletop game in a city, and then reveal the outside world and or a world map to them, you're gonna have that big JRPG moment of hitting the world map that I experienced in playing Final Fantasy VII and 9 to a lesser extent, but it still exists. That moment where you're let loose, you see the greatest scope of the world. It's pretty neat. I actually feel like that was somewhat intended in Descent into Avernus, the Wisdom of the First Adventure that I did not like. In that they set you in Baldur's Gate and they get you to do a smallish dungeon, and then ask you to leave Baldur's Gate, go somewhere else, enter Avernus. An iron gate blocks the doorway, the cell is empty. The cell has a treasure chest I want. Alright, well we're going all the way around again. Look at that magician. That's crazy. Love that. And they'll politely move aside if you ask. Sadly, Descent into Avernus had other issues. Like that moment of opening you up and getting you to Avernus, and now you explore this section of hell. Like that was neat. They also give you a vehicle so that you can traverse hell very well. It doesn't change the fact that you are in hell, and that place is awful. Obviously. Oh, but it's only the first layer. How bad can it be? Very funny. Still hell. Honestly, more tightly focused adventure paths do pretty well. And shorter? Like, I recognize it. If you recognize that your pre-rented adventure is only going to be around for a short-ish period of time, you run into why are these people still hanging around each other less and less. And that is actually a considerable issue. Sometimes player characters drift apart. Sometimes they die. Character death is an accepted thing, it happens. And in those circumstances you need to, as GM and player, well as players, work out the correct answer or something that fits as to why. Accidentally switch everyone's formation. No. Weirdly small amount of damage at the beginning there. Okay. And I have, when you have a shorter adventure, when players leave or when characters decide they've had enough, less likely to happen with a shorter adventure. That's where I was going. So you don't need to come up with answers to that right away, which can be helpful. It's also much easier to have a coherent again, narrative. If I was saying earlier that I invented a setting that was just like, okay, and now have fun, fuck about, go from place to place, meet these interesting NPCs, and like a Monster of the Week style setup, but not the role-playing game Monster of the Week, which is very good and highly enjoyable, just not what I was doing. You're allowed, it's easier to have that narrative, to have that through line, to have this plot beat, this plot beat, this plot beat, they all lead to this. If it's written on a shorter time frame. Oh no, I know what it is. The Wraiths take less damage because they're friggin' ghosts. Distorting them is less effective. How could I not keep that in mind? Jeez, we've got the thinner on everyone, that's fantastic. I bet that would be tied to levels as well, like you can't cast Asuna on everyone and remove it unless the level of Asuna is one higher than required. And yet, the mines take less damage. I swear I'm not a Paizo shill, but I'm currently playing monsters. I'm currently playing monsters. Are you intimidated by the Hill Gigas? I am. I'm playing Pathfinder 2nd Ed and a couple of their adventure paths with a couple of people. And, surprise, surprise, they're really good. I like their adventure paths. Very often, they're really quite good, as long as you know what you're getting, and if you can read the adventure paths of what it's supposed to be about, and then get something appropriate to something you'll enjoy, it's good. Like, don't go into any of the occasional mega dungeon series and expect to have in-deep character role-playing with the whole cast of NPCs that don't attack you on sight. It's just not what's going to happen. Not saying one's better than the other, though we know one is. I'm just saying you need to grab something that you're actually interested in. And their shorter adventure paths feel really tightly written, very well considered. Fall of Plaguestone is considered, like, it's got 3 parts, and a lot of adventure paths have, like 3 or 4 parts per book in a 6-book series, you know? This is a tough fight. I'm gonna need to do, yeah, I need to do direct QS now. Pop everyone off. And it allowed for, Fall of Plaguestone allowed for a couple of twists and things to discover, and a couple of locations to go through dungeoning. But about the time I was thinking, yeah, this particular plot is getting a little old, we're okay, we were done. We found the problem, and we'd rushed to find the solution. And then we were gonna, like, I don't know if happily retire was the answer, but we finished the adventure and had a good time doing it. Flying back into the thing I said earlier about reaching for the end, I think that may actually be an issue occasionally. We're a bit loath to let things go, or say that this thing we are enjoying is, it's run its course. We're done. One of those things you can only really recognize in retrospect, and I guess that's why having perspective is a really good thing. Whew. Okay, we got him. Jeez, that was a rough one, wasn't it? Got Giant's Glove and an Ice Shield. Support via item. And then Giant's Glove, Gloves and Enhanced Strength. Fantastic. We'll put that in Guy. An Icy Shield is resistant to fire. Might be useful. Helm containing the Para Giants. She's wearing the Thief Gloves, not ones that increase her damage because she's built to be fragile, so we might as well get around that by putting some good armor and dodgy gloves. I think that'll help. And who's that dude that uses shield, huh? You want an ice shield? It's almost exactly the same, except resistant to fire as well. Bunch of mana, let's go. Main Gosh. A dagger held. Main Gosh is a dagger generally held in one hand. Yeah, look at that, a knife that raises evasion. That would go very well with the Thief's Glove. Except, putting it on Furion so he has a knife back and an empty hand to get that magic up and stab some people. Stone that deals fire damage has the same effect as fire. I mean, that's good, but what level fire? It's the same effect as level 1 fire, level 5 fire. Dunno. We're back to just YOLOing our way through. Someone who talks a lot role-playing games. I never feel like I get enough of it. Which is funny, because I don't. I have issues when I try and get involved in other larger sections of fandom, like writing a lot of fanfiction, or jeez, wait for 3 of my characters. They don't get woken up when damaged. Not by magic and not by physical. Poison woke Guy up, I guess. That's dangerous. Could have spelled doom. What was I saying? I don't get super involved in other aspects of fandom, like writing a lot of fanfiction or making headcanons is something I avoid a lot of the time. Not out of intent, I find the authorial intent to be like really strong for me. And I feel kind of bad about just bitching about things, but incorrect quotes generators? Fuck yeah, those quotes sure can incorrect. I like to see characters as more than archetype. In a lot of circumstances, flicking character names to fill archetype and adding nothing new. And perhaps relying on the understanding of a work or a text to like say, ah yes, but it is different because when this character is in this scenario, they'll react in a slightly different way. Well, that is true. But it's not enough. For me. Me, personally, not everyone. So, I didn't get when we were Scourge deals poison damage. Just don't think we need it. Here's where I'd love Maker to tell us, no, Scourge is an amazing spell, you gotta have it. It's a maze. Cool. And you can't get to the maze just by talking to one and killing them, because they don't disappear after you kill them. Neat. Neat! That's pretty clever. There was a thing in Critical Role Twitter where there's just a long-running joke called Long Ethic. Like, they draw one of the NPCs who became a very important NPC. So, I understand why they're there. It's like a longish slug, I thought. And I think that's pretty funny. But it seems so far away from the character on screen, or even as written in the source book, that I'm like, how are you doing this? Like, I love that this is a shitpost and a joke you're running with, and I'm not going to tell you to stop in any way, but I just don't feel right being involved in this. So I'm going to like a few pictures and then ignore the rest. The most I would do. I'm not going to yuck anyone's yum. It's really important. So the aspects of RPG culture and tabletop that are reflected online that don't involve getting around the table with people and playing more, I'm not there. I'm not doing it. And maybe doing that would take some of the edge off, and I probably should. Oh, Captain, hello, Kitty. Hello, Kitty. He's a good boy. Like, I had a game several hours long Sunday. It was great. I got 2 coming up this Sunday as well, and I want to play more. How much do you get? 20 per ether. That's not much. See, I'm sure your brain contents would be helpful if irrelevant. Don't worry. I guess when people are like anxious for more content with their games, they become designers or GMs writing more of their own stuff, right? Ah, crap, I don't have a game this week. It was cancelled for whatever reason. Immediately use that time to write more. It's going relatively fine. Highly variable damage on these wave panthers. Now Attuner is level 4, so we've been successfully using it, and now we're going to go back to using Antidote, because you can just buy those, and we might need MP for killing things in battle. Turn game volume down a bunch. I think that's a good way to do it, because it's not saying anything particularly unique just yet. We got good music, but it's the same battle music over and over. And I'm rambling a lot, so you can't miss out on the ramble. I just feel like we're coming up to a boss. It's funny, I feel like we're coming up to a boss even though we deliberately did not talk to the princess, right? I am wondering what will happen. Is there going to be a missing trigger and we're going to need to go the whole way backwards again? Possibly. If we do, you see the Dreadnaught's engine. Let's blow this thing up. We can't. Not yet. We have to rescue the princess first. Shit. Oh, the hot take from Luxus. The sound in Pillars is more important than Final Fantasy. Is it the voice acting? Occasionally we hear something very cool coming from like Adair saying something adorably racist that he apologizes for later and poorly. Voice acting is nice. And the music in Pillars is less repetitive. Soundscape, yeah. Did you mean trudging over the same 5 sections of the endless paths of Odd Nua because people have got the location wrong a couple of times? It's hard to call Grieving Mother like the best written RPG companion in 20 years because I don't know if she's the best, right? There's Scourge, does a small amount of poison damage. No, not really worth it. But like, what we're gonna do is go up to the top, use a tent, talk to the princess, come back down here. So I'm less concerned about MP. We're gonna go use a cottage. It's hard to call. Yeah, definitely a very well written character and well considered. Like, for me, the fact that one of her voice responses and/or I'm gonna do this thing or click activate noises is the jingling of the chimes. That's just thematically consistent, right? And that feels great that that works, that's included, that they thought that through. I'm really glad that the chimes are included because they are so important to her character. I'm actually kind of glad they didn't do slightly more expanded with her. This isn't a spoiler now because if you're keeping up with the VODs, cheers to everyone at VODs, you'll know the full quest chain for Grieving Mother. You don't know the full quest chain for Durance, but it doesn't actually matter. And the Hillgiggers is just here now? No, we're running. We're not fighting this guy. It was hard enough the first time around. Come on. It's good. Yeah, it would be weird if it was only the chimes. I'm glad that it happens. Yeah. One of the other suggested, perhaps expanded, maybe if they had more time, maybe if they had more money, ideas would be that Durance's backstory intersected with Grieving Mother. And so, I'm not sure how, but he would have been one of the people to cast her out. And you would discover that, and she'd be really pissed at him as well. I don't think that's terrible. But there is some sort of, to me, elegance and or beauty in the way that she is separate from the others. Like, remember, they can't see her at all. At one point, Adair's like, you're holding an item that you need a cipher to look at. Adair says, yeah, but what's the chances that this random peasant woman is in fact the cipher? And then he forgets she exists again. So there would be a moment of discovery where they're like, oh god, that person. One more for the We Hate Durance crew. There's a weirdish trend in some isometric RPGs, and I'm looking at Alcat and Pillars, especially. And, oh, Inquisition does it a lot, Dragon Age Inquisition. Where everyone in the party seems to fucking hate one another in dialogue. Sometimes they'll do a nice thing for one another, or even in the case of Dorian and the Bull. But otherwise, they seem to fucking hate one another at all times. And it gets a little old. Like, I can't think of... They seem to hold each other at a distance. I'm thinking Sagani and her fox. Adair's like, can I pet him? And Sagani's like, yeah, go ahead. It's your hand. And then Sagani later checks in with him. He's like, is your hand okay? And he's like, I think I'm gonna lose it. You need to cut it off. And that whole thing is played for laughs. Because it's really funny. Don't get me wrong, that's really funny. And here he is, like, with here he is, like, Adair kind of says some racist shit, but then apologizes. But how often do we have times where they're, like, getting along, being friendly, seeming to really care about one another? At least in Pillars, they have, like, very often, it seems like when they're antagonizing one another, they're playing it for laughs. But when one of them falls in combat, they're really concerned. Adair says multiple times, we gotta take better care of Aloth when Aloth goes unconscious, which, as we know, happens a lot. Adair and Islamir get along really well, which is funny because Aloth does not like Islamir. So we restore stage PNB, let's do it. But that does cause some consternation for Aloth, and I like that they seem to get along. I also recognize that some characters the whole party hates. Who gets along with Durant? Literally no one. Durant is quite specifically made that his job anyway. Like, he wants no one to get along with him. He's a vile, repulsive person on purpose. And so it kind of bugs me every now and then. Hey, Corey! Yeah, Durance absolutely is a shit cunt. It's funny because I had never played an All-In before, so I didn't get the full look. If you're not strong, if your race isn't strong enough, you're going to end up slaves. Chat before, right? Like, that was new to me as well, and a very nasty discovery. But so that actually soured me more. The whole time I was like, yeah, he's awful. I don't like him. He's not good. I like him, and he's worth it for the plot. But that was just pushing it too far. I don't recommend looking for a lot of meaning in Durance's plot, because actually, just wait. Just wait. It'll be worth it. It's just, he's too much, because he's awful in multiple ways. Gordon's gonna die. Ooh. Ooh, 2 and 8. Alright. Love that. Very successful. Beautiful fight. Can we plot murder Durant? No. You can plot murder him in the way that kills the whole party. Let's save the thank yous for later. I head for the airship with the princess. Fire that engine toss the sun fire in, got it? I'm gonna get the airship ready for takeoff, and I don't plan on waiting around for long. I wanted to talk to the... Fuck. I thought I was being clever. I wanted to talk to the Sid before the princess, because, like, when we talk to princess, it will move the plot forward. I don't think it's important enough for me to load my save. But I can tell you, I was thinking it, because that felt bad. I got outwitted by the game I was trying to outwit. Oh well. The meaning endurance seems to be that sometimes you need the help of fit people to achieve important goals. Corey? Yeah, and that's actually, weirdly enough, one of the things he tries to teach you as well. The archetype, it made the Awakening. Pretty sure it's Awakening. Or it's Descendants. No, it's Awakening. Yeah, the more recent one. And well, the darkness is that, like, you being a horrible person, I'm going to be an example for you to do better. And, like, that's what Durance is doing. He's being a shitty person to make you better. And that's why he says the most awful things to everyone, and doesn't give much of a reason why, and doesn't stand by those statements. He just says them and lets you deal with his opinions. As a character in a story, or a character in a game, something, great. As an example for real life, awful. Don't do that. Less ambushes, please, game. Boring if it does in combat, extremely satisfying if you can just choose to kill the shit here. Well, we'll see, you know? I feel like if the game gives chat a choice, you are absolutely going to kill the hell out of Durance. And I wouldn't be averse to that. Now that we've spoken to Sid, can we get through? Boom. Boom again. God, that's unsatisfying. Nope. Full disclosure, I'm gonna load my save if we don't figure out a way to open that chest. Sorry. If you're really nice, if I'm being really nice, I'll do it after the stream so you don't have to watch me replay the whole segment again. Okay, so the rate of random battles is getting a bit annoying, right? I would love a way to dynamically scale the amount of random battles that are happening. I love that they're quick. That's really important. If they're at the point where they feel like they're interrupting and not showing you new monsters, not challenging you in a way, that's when they start to lose some of their worth to me. I'd love if there was a way that, like, I've seen all the enemies on this floor, turn down the rate of random battles just a little bit. Just a little bit. Especially if using a more traditional leveling system, you can say, oh, you're also 5 levels above the recommended level for this area, we're going to turn down random battle. Then how do you grind? The solution's been handed out in some other games where they hand you an item that's like, no random battles when you're wearing this item. Because I would put that on to do this sort of backtracking back and forth. Healing everyone is not getting a massive response. Not having a massive effect, so we better heal one at a time. Hey, Helldivers, I think they're new. Great. Doesn't hold up well when you look at it. Yes, kind of. It's really frustrating at times, but we haven't hit the end yet. Like, when we finish this plot, let's see if it holds up well. Reserve judgment until the end is what I'm thinking. Pulls the, I want to make you better than me by being shit, but you prefer to shoulder holding the views he had in his spouse. So we know the good people are using everything they can do to what's right, even they have to tolerate his being awful and making him better along the way. Making him better along the way is a decent thing as well. That's a really good idea. If Durance could admit he was wrong once or twice and come around to something you're saying, instead of being so obstinate that we actually feel like it's not worth talking to him. Like, he hasn't been in our party. Despite him being the only priest and the best healer, because Hierovius is not a great healer, druids aren't, we don't have him in our party at all. We're not having him because he's so annoying to deal with and he makes us feel bad. He takes the slot of a more interesting, or at least a more pleasant party member in our game. And to do my shtick, taking it back to role-playing games, that's a decent question. If you could play a character that, you know, is kind of like Durance in that he's a bad person to make you think about it. But if the other players at the table would rather not have you there, not have your character there, you're really bringing down the game, right? A lot of the time we know that you're a fun person, that's why we invited you to the role-playing game, if not to bring a specific character. Perhaps the person you brought isn't amazing. Terrible person, obstinate, that you can go to Reddit, you don't need it in every game. Bam! Bam! Someone... Luxy may or may not have a player insistent character. It's chaotic good in the campaign. Everyone fucking hates it. Well, fuck man, because chaotic good is real easy to do right. Really easy to do right. Look for a system that mistreats people, and then say, this system isn't worth having. How do we avoid it? Tear it down. Do something helpful. Right? It's like lawful good is much harder to do, right? Because generally, people have the bad idea that paladins have to be boring. Corey knows that paladins don't have to be boring, right, buddy? Love his paladin. He's destructive. You're gonna tell me about it more, Luxy. That sounds good. And Corey's right. It's just what my character would do is might be the most toxic words in roleplaying. When used as an excuse to do something awful, absolutely. But as a good, you know, as a rationale as to why you're doing something like heroic or like fascinating, cool. That's much better. But like. Actually, now that I think about it, it's just what my character would do. To me, it feels like smoke words were obfuscating the real problem. I spoke to someone about this on Twitter. It's not super important, but we often look at part of the behavior that like will show us the problem, but it isn't actually the problem itself. There we are. Level up cure for good old Maria. Like, it's just what my character would do. It's something shitty people do, say as an excuse for when they're making decisions that harm the play of someone else. And that's bad. We don't want that to happen. We don't want to harm other people's play. The actual problem is that obstinacy and harming someone else's play and not having a good time and not caring about other people's good time, where it's just what my character it's just what my character would do, could be used as a great thing. It's to say you're having a strong connection to this character you've built, and if other people around the table go, actually that's a good point, that is what your character would do, it could be great. It's just that it's used by people being assholes, so we hate hearing it. Okay. Misinterprets everything into some weird and plausible form that could result in his character doing something stupid. Ugh. I don't like that. He saw the priest organ summon as convinced he will therefore burn down the temple and announced the name of the character in the Holy Tambourine, trying to do his backstory arc. But what if you as a player hadn't drawn such tenuous lines to make that conclusion? You're really rushing your backstory. Why? Play to find out, man. You see the Dreadnaught's engine. Well, have you heard about Sunfire? What? Oh yeah, what about just do the quarter for you to the okay, how about Snowcraft? Use a ring and Oh, what a... Alright, well, look, I'm out of ideas. We better run back to the game. Sorry, this is a bit. We're doing ridiculous. Let's just show it the canoe, and we'll throw the sunfire in. This is a terrible joke, but it took less than a minute, so it's worth it. You throw the sunfire into the engine. Dark Knight, what have you done? The engine! That voice. There's no time, Maria. The ship will blow up any minute. We have to get to the airship. And we fucking run. Yeah, well, look, we didn't have to run back ourselves. That's really helpful. But I'm still thinking about that chest, baby. This is not controllable. I'm not doing this. Of course, there's a cutscene. You can see all 4 characters. We didn't get that chest. The chest or the trunk. Terrible loss. Oh well. Well, it's gone. Be sure to get all the chests. There goes my 100% completion. Oh well. I'll keep it in mind. File number 3, maybe I'll come back to it. Who knows? We did it. We blew up. We blew up the Dreadnaught. The princess is safe and well. I wish the same were true of the king. Oh no! What happened to the king while we were gone? It's just terrible. The king's condition is taking a sudden turn for the worse. Princess is safe and well. Oh, that again? Wow. With it? Blew up the Dreadnaught, did you? Always knew you had it in you. Jeez, they're not saying much. Let's go check it on the king. Oh, what good paladin flavor. Yeah, love that. Gordon, Menu, and Filion, I have one last request to ask of each of you. Please, listen carefully. Gordon, you've grown so strong. I want you to lead our army. The coward? Oh man, do all you can to help Hilda. Your betrothed. My liege, I swear it on my very life. Minwu, you know of the legend. The legend speaks of the ultimate magic that will seal the way. The seal may only be broken when the world stands at the brink of destruction. I believe that time has come. Do you agree? I do. The time to break the seal binding the ultimate throne is upon us. Syrian, I would have you go to Deist, home of the Dragoons. I was told that all of the Dragoons were slain in an attack by the Empire. Oh, great. Love it. Yet I refuse to believe there are no survivors in so noble a group. If we are to stand against the might of the Empire, Davitz will need the Dragoons and their wyverns. To combine their efforts, the damn victory will come. There. Take care of Hilda. Fun. Your Majesty. Just fucking pieced out. He's gone. We should save our tears for another time. We must carry out the king's last wishes. We each have our duties. Let them not go unfulfilled. He's fucking dead. Good job, everybody. I'm the sick king now. Oh, Gordon's gone. Alright. At least he left his shield. Trident. Effective against aquatic enemies. Oh, cool, alright. Really keen on getting back into games with lockdown has not been the best time ever? Yeah, Corey, I believe you. It'd be really nice. We lost our king. We lost our king. 2 games, theoretically both will be training. One is really dragging, the other is good and well run. Aside from that joke, the GM are awkward. Oh, that sucks. I hope that turns out alright. Galaxy. We can beat him into shape if it'll help. Oh, hey, Hilda. Hehe. What? Hehe. I'm not dead. I mean, yeah, that's good, but... This is because we didn't talk to her, isn't it? Didn't say hi in the Dreadnaught, and now she's gone slightly mad. It's not very nice. Oh well. Hey, old wizard. East, you say? It's an island kingdom located in the sea east of the snow. Wizard. East, you say? It's an island kingdom located in the sea east of the snow plains. To get there, you'll have to take a ship from Balloon and sail south. Alright. When the Emperor first moved against the East, we dismissed the attack as a mere skirmish. But the Empire feared the power of the Dragoons. He meant to wipe them out. Dragoons? Some say that the Dragoons can speak the language of the Wyverns. Wyverns? If you go to East, you may find Wyverns that yet live. The Wyvern would make them most advantageous ally. Mithril? Sunfire? Dragoons? Goddess's Bell? Wild Rose! Alright, never mind. Pathfinder is the awkward one. Just get Jim to run you something. Just get Jim to do it. It's fine. He's not busy. It's like... Yeah, I'd like to do that. That'd be good. Yeah. When is the question, you know? And it's not... I kind of resent having to consider the time. How much free time I have, how little free time I have. File 3. I'm gonna get that chest, I swear. Defile you for Pathfinder. Funny, I just complained about rigidity being ridiculous in another chat. But I'd love to be a gentle introduction to Pathfinder. Hilariously, Pathfinder 2nd End is different enough to first that you'll go that it's slightly better if you haven't played the first edition. Looking for passage to Death, are you? Well, this be your lucky day. Just so happens the ship is about to leave for Death. Be your 1-10 ride. Doesn't this seem a little too convenient, Tyrion? Maybe it is, but I don't see any other ship going to Death. I'm just gonna have to trust her. My name's Leela. I'll be waiting outside the city for you. We'll weigh anchor as soon as we're set to go. Alright, let's go. Dragon is the edge of the Empire. It's not the system of the GM being too open-ended and not getting away with his all. One of the players being the GM in the other game. Well, we'll see. I like Edge of the Empire. Great system, very lovely. Oh, of course, it's that other one I just didn't see. It's right there. Right there beneath my gigantic map. Sailor looks like he's wearing a swimsuit. Very appropriate. Cool. Let's start to change the size of the map. On the ship, let's go. Edge of the Empire. God, it's a good Star Wars system. I feel like its greatest flaw is that very often. Alright, we'll do that in a moment. I feel like its greatest flaw is that a lot of people have fond memories of other Star Wars systems that are like, this one's bad. It's very open-ended, but it's really good. Deadman does a lot of good work with Pathfinder. Sorry, Deadman, well, he does a lot of good work with Pathfinder, but Deadman does a lot of good work at the End of the Empire as well. Shadowrun D&D 5. Again, reading from Reddit, but it's funny that every time someone mentions Shadowrun, they're like, how do I put this setting in a different system? Layla. Trusting pirates doesn't pay much for the space you got between your ears. We'll spare you your lies, but your loot be ours now. What's this? Is it a fight you've been wanting? Really are stupid. Get 'em, boys. Nice. Same as Final Fantasy 1. We're gonna beat up a bunch of pirates and get a boat out of it, right? Enough. I know what I'm beat. Go on then. Do what you're gonna do and be done with it. What? We need to go to Deast. What are you up to? You want to fight the Empire together? Bunch of outcasts like us fighting right alongside the likes of you. I think I like the sound of that. To your post, boys. Whether it be Deast to the edge of the world, we'll get you there. Lila joined the party. Alright, I like that. I got no issues with the fourth party member. Nice portrait on her, very cool. Dagger, got a longsword. What about? Guide says put a dagger in her main hand, so I will, but you can also have a trident. Gold hairpin, very cool. Lila, Layla. I think going with Lila. Not really sure why. What am I going to be drinking? I'm not sure. We'll figure it out. Look at that! We got ourselves a ship! Grats, everybody! Random encounters on the ocean. Gotta love it. She starts with thunder too, cool. Layla. Well, I'll bow to the wheel of chat and call her Layla. You son of a bitch! Bringing up lever. Lever. Terrible bully. Make me pronounce things appropriately. Well, the ocean's full of interesting creatures, isn't it? Buccaneers and only buccaneers. Okay, I didn't expect to be able to just disembark. I'm pretty sure that'll kill us, so let's give it a try. Leather daddy. Ugh. How dare. How dare. Here's where we all die horrible deaths? No? We just gotta cast magic. I understand it is break time. So what I'm going to do... Good God. Thank you. Yeah. Otherwise, you'll have the battle music the whole time through break, and that'll be really annoying. So instead, let's go out here. Okay, break time. We'll be back in 10 minutes. We'll see you at 8:40. Okay, hello, hello. I'm back. Yeah, alright, so no music during break, it turns off. Damn. It depends. Sometimes some profiles, like another one, it does stay on. I just wanted to be thoughtful. Honestly, I hear it the whole time when I leave my headset on, so. Today we have a martini. But what's that garnish that you can't quite see? So we can spin it till you can. There you go. What's that garnish? Sliced pear, because this is a pear gin martini. And the Canberra Distillery's pear gin. Just a regular Blanco vermouth. Very tasty. I felt like a martini. I felt like some pear gin. I wanted to and I had a pear that I got specifically for this, so why not? Let's investigate this cave and see if it kills us. The worst that can happen. We've got 4 party members, right? Tropical Island, beat 1. Okay, red moose, yellow jelly. Use magic because we won't be able to deal physical damage to these guys. I didn't take a lot of damage there. Okay, that worked. Might as well. We have an abomination made out of soft drinks you have in the fridge and gin that comprises 1/3 of your booze supply. Oh boy. There's literally nothing wrong with that. You make whatever drink is tasty and you enjoy it. Don't auto-use antidote. That would be very annoying. Just gotta use antidote again. Well, myself, it wasn't terrible. Yeah, I mean, I make a drink each stream. Perhaps is not the most responsible thing to do. But I certainly recognize it's a good decision to not drink on health reasons if it makes you feel bad or it makes you sick. I'm sure you hear it too often, but we do put quite a lot of importance on drinking here in Australia. Perhaps too much. But hey, I sure do like my martinis and whatever drink I consider I make for each stream. It's highly enjoyable to come up with something and go through it. Wow. At least we can just auto attack our way through it. Save our mana. I keep routinely getting whenever I'm asked that very important question, the doctor's like, how often do you drink and what? I think it's... I get this look from a doctor that's like, oh, okay, alright. But I'm like, about 4 standard drinks a week, and they're on camera. What do you mean on camera? You see, here's my Twitch stream. I'm famous. I just think Therian can deal with it himself. No, he can't. I think perhaps it's because fire doesn't do much against the red moose. Now they're just poisoned? Alright, well. About thunder! Or blizzard! Or other thunder! There you go. Very effective indeed. You didn't get the Athena off, did you, buddy? One day, maybe? Or one day you will drink more again? Or dual debt? It's probably not dual deeds. As much as I like the name might fit. Both. Ah, one day famous symbols, right? Maybe if I play games that catch the algorithm. Stream more than twice a week? I don't know what the secret is. Like, to be perfectly frank, I'm looking at streams and Twitch's advice, and it's like, you should stream on the same days and make your schedule public, and, you know, it's giving you advice, but it's all pretty generic. And I'm looking at it and going, the only thing I need is we got an engaged chat full of smart, intelligent people. We've got well-labeled series and normal go live times, and a streamer that cannot shut up. These are apparently the secret. If we're missing anything, it's just the number of people watching. Oh, cool. I love that we dealt with them with just like that last blizzard that dealt 8 or so damage. Luck, algorithms, being early adopters would help, you know? Like, if you're on Twitch when there were only 5 people, and there were a lot of people watching, that would help. But I don't know. Seems like a lot of responsibility. Corey mentions if I really want it, I should do a third day where I play a variety of games or something that gets them views. Dual heads and dual heads, 2 of them. Well, the magic damage is not doing much on these. And we've learned our lesson from casting magic without thinking. Ooh, that was a hard one. What about if we auto-attack you to death? Nice, there we go. TikTok. Yeah, that'd do it. But I just don't like the app. Because it pauses the audio of the audiobook or podcast I'm listening to. I don't like it when games do that to me. I mean, the clip function on Twitch would be perfect for that, wouldn't it? Get a clip of something particularly interesting or exciting? Push it. Spider silk. What's that? Push it up. Spider silk. Has the same effect as slow. Alright, cool. Many people have done exactly that. Well, there you go. There are a lot of experts out there who know what they're doing when it comes to social media promotion. I'm not good at it, clearly. I think part of it is that I work on Australian time frames too, and I don't schedule tweets to go out during the American time frames. TikTok would help with that, I guess. Yeah, I'd say 3 days a week. You still need to keep the average viewership up, otherwise Twitch won't ask you to be an affiliate, let alone a partner. But it could help with the number of likes. And hey, we also get a large number of follows just from hate bots, right? We got 3 today. Equal opportunity thunder. Lana's low on health. That mana, which is why we're not using her magic. Yeah, that's pretty gory. Spamming Facebook is not good. I post to Twitter every time we're going up. But hey, my followers will know when I'm up. They should. Oh, okay. Well, I hit the wrong button. And here we are, back at Krispy Kreme. I mean, the entrance to this island dungeon. Let's use a cottage, save again, and go our way back in. I checked it while I was making a drink. This is not the way we're supposed to go. We're just going this way because we want to. I hope you're aware of that. We're just fucking about. Okay. All we're doing is fucking. Oh, we're gonna get our spit. Oh, here we go. Get an opportunity to auto attack our way through. Nice. Nice. Gotta remember to turn off auto battle before. Ooh! Larkson, now that's an idea. Post a VOD link the day after streaming, but in the morning instead of the evening. That's smart as hell. I can do that. Yeah. Funny, because I was trying to drive traffic towards Twitch. I did not let the VOD go up to YouTube right away. Like, I put them online and set them to publish the day before the next stream. But it's not brilliant. I can still link to the VOD on Twitch. And put a link up there in the morning. Catch all those people who are watching things when they're supposed to be at work. Which is exactly what I'm doing. We'll get it, don't worry. Smart idea, I'm gonna do that. The chat replay on VOD is fun, you know? Like, I a lot of the time try to make it clear what I'm saying and what I'm responding to. You can get it through context clues or just some reading comprehension, you know? Test everyone's high school English lit. But the people in non-Australian time zones that would help too. Yeah, and people talking amongst themselves is like that community thing you get, and community thing that is really a call to personality when you have a group of people around a particular person interacting around one streamer. Like, ah, that's a call. It's funny that we have dual heads and dual deads. And clearly, dual deads is a more dangerous version. Chest contains sleep grass. That'll be an item that you throw at enemies that will cast the spell sleep at a lower level that is not as good. I assure you. Good work, Lila. Like, if nothing else, this will rubber band Scourge Token. We got several of those. This will rubber band Lila's experience up to the rest of them, or at least to a decent stage. So far, 2 games, Final Fantasy 1 and 2, we have gotten a pirate ship by beating up all of the pirates on it. I just wonder how many times that show's going to repeat itself. I know Final Fantasy 5, you get a pirate ship not by beating up all the pirates, by getting one of the pirates in your team first. That's a plus. It just doesn't feel like a really familiar trope that comes in a lot of video games, so it's surprising it's happened twice here and it doesn't appear to have repeated itself. Another Scourge Tome, amazing. Haven't had any jellies on this floor yet, which is a plus. It means we can just auto-attack our way through. I have an idea. Let's use the Scourge Tome. Let's put it on Furion. We'll have him cast it and see how well it does on those jellies next time they come out, right? Sure, you only have a few cast a spell slot, but we shouldn't be too afraid to use all of our resources. In fact, we'll get him to cast Scourge a bunch till it levels up on the way. I miss Trump. Trump and Grumbo and Malone. Oh, he's gonna auto attack because I hit X instead of A. Oh well. No great loss. I miss Trump and Grumbo and Malone. There was a fourth one. Trump, Grumbo, Malone. Hubert! Of course I miss Hubert. How could you not miss Hubert? The stalwart, faithful knight. He did not lead the party because Grumbo had a much nicer hat. Hello, Marvel. Nosing around down there? I'd love to cast Scourge like I said I was going to, except we can't, because poor Lila is damaged. That thunder didn't do much. I straight up expected much more from that cast of thunder. It does make me excited for Final Fantasy 3, sorry, we're playing 2. Because I know in some of the 3D remasters, Nintendo DS, PlayStation, the iOS releases absolutely, they name the characters. They named the characters for Final Fantasy 3, even though it was supposed to be nameless. They're created as blank slates, much like they were in 1. And I know that the Pixel Remaster is not one of the 3D remakes, so it does not name them. And so we will be naming them Trunt, Grumbo, Malone, and Hubert. Or some combination. Well done. Hey, buddy. How you doing? Nice. Okay. Nice. And so I'm excited to have their names come back up. That'll be good fun. Very poor damage, Furion. It's because the spell is very low level. Trunt, 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 says Emma, and Emma is correct. Take that, Poison Toad. Poison Toad. Some toads are poisoned in a good way. If you know what I mean. Drugs. I'm talking about drugs again. Even when I'm watching Twitch streams on Twitch, watching a VOD of that, if I'm not live, I actually have the Twitch chat turned off, which perhaps is something I should stop doing. Maybe it'll be vaguely more interesting if I watch chat even when I can't be involved in chat. Wow, this is a maze. What are we doing here? We're getting killed by jelly. That's what we're doing. Yeah, but you like chat because we're all cool, Luxie. That's why you're attached to it. We're just so cool, you can't go without it. Yeah. Hit up 8 of those jellies. It's a good idea, Corey, right? Because that's the benefit of having a Twitch, like watching it on Twitch as opposed to a Let's Play, a pre-recorded Let's Play, right? There are people here. Let us interact with them. I guess I'm just doing this Jimble is bad at adopting technology at an appropriate rate thing, where I'm more attached to Let's Plays, more attached to text-based Let's Plays, let alone YouTube-based ones, than Twitch playthroughs at this point. And I will eventually come around and go, oh, of course, this is why. Boy, I'm glad I finally did this. But I'm just slow when it comes to adoption of these sort of things. Like, I didn't use Twitter for the longest time, and now I'm there. I don't have the greatest time there, but it exists. And then, what's another good example? Some people put a recording on YouTube that has a chat as well. That is a great idea. I don't know how to do that. I grabbed the export from Twitch. That's like, oh, here it is. I could just get an overlay, right? Like, use an appropriate chat overlay that will put you all on the top right, and then Bob's your uncle, that would appear. To do that overlay, I'd have to mess with Streamlabs, StreamOBS, instead of the open source one I currently use. Oh, you're fucked, son. We don't have to use magic, we're just gonna stab you all to death. Problem solved. I don't think I'd hate setting it up properly through, like, Twitch's actual software. It's just, I already used OBS because it was the best way to do screen recordings. A Phoenix down, is that all? Wow, that was totally worth it. Let's, there's gonna be a lot of trap rooms, trap staircases from here. If we run into trouble, I'm gonna use the teleport spell and get out of here and continue the main plot. Because here we are fucking about. What am I doing in this location? I just kind of found a tropical cave and said, yes, this is absolutely where we should go. I have downloaded Twitch Studio and have messed about and started to configure it already, Corey. You're totally right that it is free, it's easy to set up, and has the chat overlay. I've actually done a lot of the configuration already. It's just every time that I want to go live, I'm like, ah yes, I should definitely do this with the tools I already use. In a way that makes me feel like There's a deadline when you're about to go live for an expected, this is part of your twice weekly stream at exactly this time. You've just posted to Twitter, sometimes even Facebook, we're doing this thing. And then to hit the go live button then on a new tool, stressful. I guess this is why other content creators have producers that are like, okay, now press the fucking button, dude. I could go live like 50 minutes early. I nearly had to today. There was an authentication error with OBS, and I figured it out by manually fucking with it. Oh, no. Yeah, go live early would work. Maybe I'll have to give that a try next Monday. It's also... Yeah. No, Larksy. That just pushes it further down the line. Go live early on purpose to get used to it. That happened to me today. I didn't feel like cooking dinner, and so I asked them for assistance. And very happily did so, right? And that was great. But I felt, no, I need to be ready 15 minutes before the stream, because I like to be 15 minutes early, prepared. Have my coffee, not ready to hit the button. I hit the button at 5 minutes to 7. And then I was like, I'm so anxious because I'm not ready for my 15 minutes before the stream deadline. So if I, like, the earlier I get, that just moves the point of I'm being anxious about this next point further down the line. Further, like, into the day. And even working from home, getting ready for the stream at 7, when you finish work at 5, is hard. And as we know from our attempts to get Mako to help me set up sound correctly, it's like... It's hard enough to find time for me to mess around with sound settings. So, who knows? Using those resources, cutting our way through. Do a special session with me playing with the stream stuff. Not a bad idea, you know? You know what I do for that? I pull up Final Fantasy XIV. Go live with that, and then just have that in the background as the application that I'm streaming. Because I don't stream my screen. I tell OBS only stream this full screen application. Oh, look at that! That's great. Love those chests. And that means that I would need a full screen application to say, stream this. And it wouldn't be bad to show off my character in Final Fantasy XIV. Fits with the theme, I'm playing through the whole series right now. Meanderingly, while I ramble at chat and anyone in the VOD. Love you everyone in the VOD. You know? But it's not like we're actually voting on things in FF2. We're playing through the plot, that's it. The accusation that Final Fantasy 13 and like definitely 13 was very linear seems a little odd to me now, because even thinking about 10, Diadrum, that's interesting. I feel like the plot in 10 is linear. You don't often get choices about what to do, you just follow it. Which is very reasonable, because a lot of games, a lot of narratives and text are like that. You can't vote on what to do next in a TV show. It just happens, especially a novel. Especially a novel as well. Novel. We picked up a Gaia drum. What is it? Is it a key item? No, okay. Gaia drum. There it is. Drum that resonates with the earth, summoning an earthquake. Well, it works along the same line as garlic and Antarctic wind, so one of those battle items I'm not going to use. The issue isn't that it's linear, it's that it doesn't feel like play. Ooh, tell me about that, Corey. I'm not saying you're wrong and I don't want to start an argument. I want to hear that. Tell me how you feel. You need to reread American Gods. Do you have a copy? Do you need a digital copy? Probably shouldn't encourage stealing of things from authors. No, but I can lend you a book. That's not that hard. Doesn't feel like play. I suppose so. That there is something to say that we inexplicably have two copies. Well, much more fun than two cops. You do have to leap off your statement that it doesn't feel like play, Corey. I want to know what you're typing. Hopefully you are typing. There is something to say that here, this sort of engagement, what we're doing now, while I am very curious as to what is at the end of this tropical island dungeon, I'm very curious to see where it goes. I'm like, but Death Idol. It does feel like I'm not having much input. There it is, Death Idol. Talisman that strikes fear in the target's heart, making more likely to flee, has effect of fear. At the start in particular, writing down uninteresting corridors and not talking to anyone. True. Not even constantly having or consistently having combat. Yeah. It's interesting. Not enough in it to make me want to get further. I wonder how long a game can live on vibes only as well, which is different to every player, but at some point you recognize that a lot of RPGs open up or have more play to them, more decision-making process. I wonder often about how big segments of games don't actually ask you to make choices. They get you to make moment-to-moment choices, i.e. what spell am I casting this turn? But a lot of the time, there isn't a lot of freedom. And this is very common in first-person shooter games, because many of them, especially recently, are on rails. Like, you're going from set piece to set piece to set piece. They're just displaying things at you and you're reacting to them. Sometimes even the game will play itself, you know? That's always an interesting feeling. If companions or NPCs will beat the game for you if you don't do anything, that's interesting. Whoops. Cast the spell. Think of the bit at the start of Final Fantasy X, running along the bridge, but if that bridge is multiple hours. Yeah. After the opening cinematic, Xanakin's attacked, and when you're eventually eaten by Sin and brought to Spira, you're dropped out in that, like, ocean. You meet Riku, even though you don't know she's Riku at that point. There is that period where you're, like, problem solving in the ruins, which are actually the ruins of Xanakin. And, like, that's cool. That's interesting because you're out fighting some mysterious monster but humans with guns. I also think that the break system is introduced, like, stagger. The stagger system is introduced in Final Fantasy 13, but it isn't, like, fleshed out particularly well yet, and they've reiterated it a lot in the other Final Fantasy games, including 7 right? 7 Remake, apparently. I haven't played it yet. That's cool. They're not. They're southern. They're not the ruins of Anakin. Whoops. You get anima there later. Oh wow, yeah, I've just totally forgotten. Also spilled martini on myself. Because I am the most dexterous and delicate of bears. Monsters. Sleep zone! Can we cross this water, do you think? What do you think? Jeez. Oh, alright. Said this joke on a Discord server before, but the Wrath of the Righteous computer game has a spell called Bear's Grace, where if you're on the Trickster path, and it just gives you a negative to your dexterity. It's like it's flavored as a buff spell. When you cast on an ally, they don't resist it or anything. And it's called Bear's Grace, and it gives you a negative to dexterity, and I just found that the funniest friggin' thing. Oh, we can cross this water. Alright. What's this then? A boss! Beat up some poison toads, let's use some consumables, let's fight this boss. This boss we're not supposed to be near. Are you supposed to eat garnish? No. Do people do it anyway? Yes. So, streamer Matt Wiggins, Corey. If you get past the terrible corridors, it'll be good. He did a playthrough and was quite honest with it because he was playing most of Final Fantasy the whole way through. Not most of the series. And he said something that stuck with me about it. It's like, if you enjoy the combat system, you enjoy the stagger, you enjoy the break, you enjoy that sort of tactics, it opens up at some point, and the game really does open up a lot. Like, think Calmlands in Final Fantasy X. And then it's really good. It's really great indeed. If you like that. But if you don't, like, if the combat itself doesn't drive you to it, it's not particularly worth it. Guard mask! Guy, what mask? Yeah, boy! Oh, it's just 4 of these? Oh no, you're fucked, son. Wait. Bighorn. I think Bighorn is a different type of creature to the ones we just walked through. I actually think this might be more dangerous than I first originally assumed, yelling, "You're fucked, son." We know better than to multicast. It doesn't just divide the damage by 4, it does in fact make it... I think it divides it by like 5. Thunder isn't the key. Is it weak to anything else? Sorry everybody, we gotta think tactically as we get our way through here. Because there could be an enemy for a boss fight later in the game that's like, go collect a mask from the island, and we'll be like, the what? And then we'll sail around and eventually find it. Okay, it's not particularly weak to any magic. So, it's not particularly weak to physical, so I think we just try and beat them all up. Until that happens. Maria definitely deals more damage with her sword than any spell. Just don't attack Lightner. Yes. Hey, here's an idea. Let's cast slow using the spider silk, right? Slow 9. That's not bad at all. Not bad at all. Oh. Lila doesn't deal a lot of damage, so using these items is a good idea, right? Magical Ice Storm. Just casting the level 9 versions of these spells, that's actually pretty good. Holy crap! 16? And we got one down. That's excellent. Okay. Perhaps talking down the effectiveness of these one-use items is a bit incorrect. Oh well, but still pretty good. Summon an earthquake. What do I say all the time? Just consumables are to be consumed, you might as well do it. I'm like, it's not you. Let's try and blind them. Why not, right? Go. Go, go, go. Come on. Alright, well that fire wasn't particularly useful. Antarctic wind stronger than hellfire, huh? Okay. Earthquake 10. Well, well, well. We may be able to do this. Fascinating. Well, you're way out of mana, so let's just use this good turn. You guys are decent dealing damage. Try one more round at blind. If we do get a blind on them... Okay, the blind now affects. We've managed to get a blind on them. Their physical attacks are going to miss so much more, and we'll just be able to YOLO our way through again. Amazing. This is my favorite tactic for a very hilarious reason. Don't know ether, otherwise would be pretty useful. Jeez, throwing the tomes is not a bad idea at all. Oh, chat, we're doing this together. Here we are on a tropical island on floor 6 of a dungeon. We're not sure why we're here. Weirdly enough, this kind of feels like the problem solving you'd use in Final Fantasy 1, right? The map opened up. Yes, 2 down. The map opened up. We were given the opportunity to just go explore. So we did. We found something. It's not the right thing. We were even told alright, I need to edit that assumption. In Final Fantasy 1, you would get, like, the ship, and your job was to just explore. Go in a direction, figure it out, fucker. That was your job. And so, we did. And eventually we got so lost I didn't know where to go, and we'd figure it out. We repeated that same pattern here in Final Fantasy 2. I love having that blind on it, that's great. We've ended up somewhere that is almost definitely too high a level for us. We're gonna beat it by using some resources and just slamming our head against this problem. You know, like we're out of items to throw, so we're just attacking and attacking and attacking. There we go. Right? Victory music is sweet. But in Final Fantasy II, it actually told us where to go. You found a black mask in the chest. Amazing. What do we use it for? No idea. Why are we here? I don't know. Where are we going? Out. What did we learn? I don't know, right? Again, that really does feel like Final Fantasy 1. We walked to a location, we walked in, we healed everything, we picked up an item, we weren't super sure what for. I'm sure it'll be useful later. And that feels not bad, but different to how the game has treated us so far, right? Guy should know. Yeah, he said it protect mask. Jeez, yeah, that trident does deal extra damage to water enemies. Go, Layla. You're a mean damage dealer here. Robbing backs to all the questions. Yeah. And I think it's fascinating expectations of what your game needs to do. To pull it back to, again, my ever common role-playing table example, it is a decent question. Like, what should your players be expected to do when they don't know what to do next? Is going, alright, I'm just gonna go and walk to somewhere on the map. I'm gonna point at somewhere on the map, we'll sail there, we'll have a little adventure. Is that a legitimate option? Tropical Island 2 chests. There's apparently an item and a weapon shop there. Okay. Is that an acceptable option? Is that engaging to your players if they're like, well, we don't know what to do, so we're just going to walk in a random direction? That is the question our EOT campaign struggles with. Does that happen often, whether you're looking at a point you don't know where to go next or what to do? I expect that answer to vary incredibly differently depending on the mood of the players and what they signed up to play. Constantly, shit. Like, not to be the role-playing daddy who tells you exactly what to do at all times, but I think it's worth considering and even bringing up with your role-playing group. If you're not playing a strict adventure path, occasionally not knowing what to do could be part of expected play. Your GM could say, alright, well, you finished that plot line, I'm not going to lead you by the nose as to where you go next. What do you want to do? It'd be worrying, it'd be concerning. It certainly would make your game feel like directionless if you do it too often. Like every 3 sessions, your GM is like, okay, what do you want to do? I got no idea. What the fuck? But the GM hasn't signposted these sort of things happening. Or he's like, in a video game it's okay, but in a tabletop, buy our tents back. Yeah, baby. We need more of these. They were great. Cool. In the tabletop, it will worry you because you need a reason to care about why you don't settle down. Yeah, absolutely. There's an essay that I can't remember who wrote, which makes me a terrible person, called Adventurers Don't Come From Happy Homes, I think. And it's a great tenet. It's like, if you're willing to settle down and not adventure into dangerous places, you wouldn't be doing it because it's a shitty job for terrible things. Some games are like, okay, yeah, it's, some settings and systems explicitly say that as an adventurer, you're going into a dangerous place because you're addicted to it, or you can't not do it, grappling with that question isn't included, you know? And other systems are like, oh, adventuring isn't a calling specifically, you could just be into it. Big horn and a flying ray. These 4 of these made a boss fight. Now we've just got one of it by itself. I don't know if we're going to be able to take it. I got off the boat just essentially to see what would be here as well. Because that's the issue here with this random encounter table. It's based on where you are in the world, and the world being so open. I don't think there's anywhere on the map we couldn't go right now. Because we've got the ship, we can get off it at any point. I don't know if there's an airship in Final Fantasy II that it lets us control it. So I have to go find Sid and ask him, really. I'm going to take it off auto battle so I can heal, because I don't think they'd make it through if we don't. 11 damage in the flying ray? That's a toughie. Get her up. Custom Thunder. Custom Blizzard. Custom more Thunder. Let's go. There are no hooks and it's confusion all session. That's an uncomfortable feeling, Larky. It's hard to suggest, hey, would you like to play an adventure path afterwards, but it could be worth it. And you just ran, you jerk. Oh, we got some experience. That was fun. This also looks like somewhere we shouldn't be. Let's go. Mysidian Tower? Amazing. Okay, there's literally nothing we can do. Neat though. I wonder what the random encounters are around it. Ghost! Piss off, Ghost. Ooh, that's pretty low damage to these ghosts. Okay, we got them. It's gonna be a tough fight. Scared 16! That just one-shot Lila. Lovely. Did we? Oh, they hit like a truck. And they heal with every strike. This is much, much higher up than we are. We're getting the fuck out of here. Jeez. Just gonna leave Lila's corpse there. She'll be okay. Don't worry about her. Hey, Fairy, in time to level up life. We're going to an inn. Don't worry about it. I just don't want to die on the sail. Get the fuck out of here. Tori says exploring random islands is not always advised. It's not. No, don't flee. Please don't flee. Damn it. You tried to warn me? Yeah, well. We got out alive in Final Fantasy II when we're exploring through everywhere. I think that's pretty legit, really. You played a game, Corey says, he played a game where someone had to ditch a character because they wouldn't care enough about the problems and he had enough power to make his own life. Oh. When handled well, that's neat as hell. Imagine a character deciding, I'm gonna retire, in a way that isn't mechanically, I've been told by the game that I've hit level 20 or 10 or equivalent, and now I must retire, which means I need to create a new character. If they had faith in the narrative to say, I'm settling down, this is where I'm going to go, you can have a tearful goodbye. Even if it's only as good as how they say goodbye to two characters in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They all posted they posted the characters from a distance because they're a spy and they're being excommunicated, so you can't be in contact with them. So they created a tradition that episode and then enacted the tradition immediately, which is not as interesting as if they did it a few episodes ago, you know? Oh, that's cool. Imagine retiring a character like that. What a beautiful dramatic story beat that could also be handled poorly in the we're not going to pay attention to it. It's just going to happen. You come back next week with a new character, and we'll try and ham-fistedly slot you in. Who knows? The corpse abandoning would be vastly improved by an animation of one of those pull the person off the stage crooks. Yeah, that would be pretty funny. if you wonder how you'd implement like more comedy into Final Fantasy, these early games are played pretty straight. One was very much explore this place, play with these mechanics. Two, we've got a lot of go through this story, and certainly go through this story. It's experience it as we are demonstrating it to you. This is how it will go. It wasn't done in the most interesting way. Oh well, look. You live and you learn, I guess. That's not the most appropriate way of saying it. But it is honest. You gotta take advantage of that opportunity where you get it. So once again, as the world opens up and I'm looking a little lost, I'm not sure where to go. Go to the island, the upper right of the world map. There's Castle D. So in fact, we are relatively close. I miss role-playing with you, Corey. I really hope our Ravenloft game starts again soon. I think it would be very fun to be that character. Nothing else, it'll be nice to complete Ravenloft, and then I'll feel like there's another slot in my play to fill. Now, Ravenloft was a highly unscheduled game, in that it happened when people were available and free. So I don't think I can set up with another weekly or fortnightly game, but it doesn't mean I wouldn't feel more comfortable with starting something. I wanted to pause and talk about the stalactites for a moment, because that's a cool monster design. See if we can pull them up again, right? Fight them here. There they are, look at that stalactite. Very cool. Very cool indeed. Alright, let's kill him. The concept of finishing role-playing games is interesting too, for me, at least. Because for many, many years, alright, so there's someone here. Let me finish this thought before I talk to this random kid. Role-playing games, very much D&D, and Glorantha as well, were just like something you get together and do with people over and over and over in a scheduled fashion, and that play would just continue. Sometimes you start in a game, sometimes everyone will die, but a lot of the time you're just getting together to play a game. And when the nature of pre-written adventures, Wizards of the Coast getting really fancy with this concept, became more common, it introduced this idea of being able to finish a role-playing game. And that was, at least slightly, unique and interesting to say that, yes, we had finished this thing. A lot of people poo-poo and are not super interested in pre-written adventures because they're like, is it really role-playing if you're playing through someone else's story and you know roughly where it's supposed to go? Like, yeah, it is. Believe me. They go off the rails, and the GM does have an impact on what is going to be played and what happens in that game. It's certainly not missing out. It refilled with some water. But the idea that you finish a game or finish a plotline is newer than the idea of playing a role-playing game as well. And now, with how you can access that story-based pre-written adventure more, since it's easier to access these books and communities of other players online and around the world, there is that sense of shared play, right? In that you can say, yes, on Twitter you can say, yes, I finished Ravenloft with these people. And that shared experience should be underwritten. And that's why, like, I just said a little while ago, it'll be nice to finish Ravenloft. I'm like, even then, finishing Ravenloft is an interesting concept. Because a lot of the time you get together and say to people, I'm playing, it's like, I'm playing Monster Hearts 2. And people are like, ah, cool. I played Monster Hearts, and they'll tell you about their experience with the system. But there's also a way to tell you about their experience playing D&D 5th Ed through Ravenloft. And people say Twitch and online games and podcasts and actual plays are really important and are spreading the role-playing hobby really far. I also think it's the shared language and the ability to share experiences in a way that a lot of people are together is also expediting the spread. Because you can say to people, imagine, group of 3 friends, they don't see each other super regularly, and one of them's getting to know the third person now. Like, they're meeting at a party. Person 1 has met person 3 once. Person 2 is like, oh yeah, you two both play D&D. Person 1 says, yeah, I just finished Ravenloft. And person 3 says, ah, Ravenloft, yeah, I wanted to play that, and I did a little bit of... Tell me about it. Person 1 has the ability to talk about role-playing. Person 2 may not be interested in D&D at all, until they hear persons 1 and 3 share an experience and bond casually over a beer, talking about their experience playing through Ravenloft. I kind of think that's an undervalued part of the spread, and particularly of D&D. A lot of Pathfinder, especially me, of Pathfinder players are invited into Pathfinder play by saying, hey, do you want to play this story? Anyway, that's a thought. We got a rambling stream tonight. Corey says, first ever character was in Shadowrun and he exists in the world of the game as you loved him as he survived the finish of it. That's fucking cool. And they should. He should definitely exist. He was an important part to you. Wait, don't come any closer. Okay, we're immediately going to ignore this child's wishes and chase it. I'm going to tell my mom. Alright, we're going to follow this child some more. Oh, we got distracted by a shiny chest. Footage. Love it. So, if there are random encounters here, do you think they're going to be dangerous or under-leveled for us? What's the big idea? You're not the bad guys. How do you know that? I thought the Empire had sent their soldiers after us again. That's true. Have you ever seen a canoe before? Nothing happens. Black mask? Nothing. Well, he's not interested in any of these items. So what about Dreadnaught? Mithril? Wild Rose? Airship? Goddess's Bell? Sunfire? Dragoons? When I grow up, I want to be a dragoon, just like my dad was. Ah. What about the wyverns? The wyvern's right in there. It's sound asleep right now. Holy shit. My mom says it's gonna die soon, but that's not true, is it? Oh shit. Mumsy? I hope my son hasn't caused you any trouble. If he has, I do apologize. My husband was a dragoon. The Imperial soldiers killed him along with the rest. My son and I are the only 2 left. In the room behind us is the last surviving wyvern. It seems to be trying to tell us something, but I cannot speak its tongue. If only we had one of the pendants, we'd be able to understand it. The cavern of the wyverns lies north of this castle. That cavern may hold one of the pendants that allows one to speak the wyvern's language. We've already learned wyverns. What about Usk? The dragoons fought valiantly, but the Empire knows no honor. They poisoned the wyvern's water. The wyverns writhed in agony until at last their breath. With the wyverns dead, the dragoons were picked off one by one by the Empire. We've already learned dragoon stuff. The dragoons fought valiantly, but the Empire knows not. We know that. What about wyverns? Oh, they said the same thing. Sorry, Mum. Also, interestingly, she's given no other name, just Mum. And again, I think the child is called Child, so what are we gonna do? Can't blame him for that. Yeah, Child Mum. Last surviving wyvern? Oh, well, first off, you've got 4 legs, so you're a dragon, not a wyvern. Cry. Roar. No idea, friend. I guess we're gonna go get that pendant, huh? Now, it's 4:02, we're not gonna get that pendant tonight, so we may have some fun messing about here in this castle. got to be a weird translation thing, right? Because wyverns aren't dragons, and dragons aren't wyverns. Supposed to be related, but they're not the same. Stop, curse, stun. Lovely. I'm gonna ignore all of those until Mako's back for me to ask advice for. Unicorn horn! Much more interested in that, apparently. Choose status elements that wear off after battle. Same effect as Basuna. Lovely. We're not gonna use it. Poor wyvern. I don't play the Basuna, no. If anything, I've contained all of the sage's wisdom. Wow. Saint Spirit, Wing Sword, Mallet. Jeez, just getting a bunch of stuff. Let's not sword. Let's take a look. Light sword effective against flying enemies. Maximizes intellect. Maximizes spirit. You can't use it out of combat. Are these in combat buffs? Jeez, that's cool. Hey Maria, got you a new sword, baby. Wow, a significant improvement sword. Do I play the Basuna? No. If anything, I play the mouth trumpet. Please forgive me for what I'm about to do. There. That's something for you to clip and put on TikTok. Jimbal's playing the mouth trumpet poorly to the background music of Final Fantasy II. No forgiveness. None? No forgiveness at all? I live with the sins. Waited until we had Trugs. Trugs did ask about the mouth trumpet earlier today, and that's why it was on my mind. Jeez. 562 damage on that strike? I don't know if stalactites count as flying enemies, but that's a significant hit from Maria. So we're getting new swords. He's best with it. Gotta give the lesbian swords. Deist Kevin. We're in here, let's go. If we hit time, I'm gonna cast teleport and then save, right? Unless we're in a boss. If we're in a boss fight, like we can't get out of it, right? 750 on that strike, Maria. What are we gonna do? Holy shit, a mouth trumpet cover medley of Careless Whisper, Baker Street, and latest trick. Fuck. Not making it easy on me, are you? I want to practice mouth trumpet with, I don't remember the name of the song. Over 1,000 damage! Congratulations, Maria! You broke the damage cap in some old games. Congratulations, indeed. The song is one Troy sings from Community. Oh, Hill Gears are just here, just hanging out. They have so much health though, and hit so fucking hard. Alright. Troy in Community goes. And I found a version of the song and got it and set it as my ringtone because it's... I'm gonna reach by the butterfly effect with my ringtone for about 8 or 9 fucking years because that's an amazing song. Because it involves sad boys, so of course I like it. But it was just replaced in my mind with this really amazing song that Troy plays in Community, and I wish I remember the name of the artist. Yellow Souls, so they're not Red Souls. Being ridiculously good at that. The friends, if you need any proof that my wife still loves me, is that she is patient with constant mouth trumpet just around the house for no reason. Yeah, but alarm tones are also ringtones, so just using Audacity to make ringtones is good so that you can customize what you're gonna like wake up to. That's very important. Alright, the song is Daybreak by Michael Hagen. Important to do research to attribute to artists. Daybreak, Michael Hagen. There you go. Important. What was the weirdest auto filter? Apparently put is misogynist, so it auto filtered it. Hey, Revenant! There's absolutely something to be said for D&D and, you know, RPGs as well, following suit, to have essentially the same monster but slightly more dangerous, you know? What is the difference between a revenant, a shade, a wight, a ghost, and a spirit? Yeah, only the time of your confusion ahead of okaying that one. Thanks, Corey. I'm really glad to have you here as a mod as well. Does kind of make me wonder because, like, the terms is cross symbols used and permitted term put. And sometimes I'm like, I don't want to. Oh no, Maria died because I wasn't paying enough attention. Sometimes I actually don't want to permit the term for all times. Is that what I've done? Or have I allowed it this particular time? I have? Oh. I'm just clicking the allow button and it goes, alright, sure. You're allowed to say it at all times because I'm thinking of the time we're quoting Durance and Durance is being an absolute ass, and we're just like, this is what he said and why we're annoyed at him. I don't want that to be allowed at all times. You can reban it? Oh, you're a saint, thank you. I think that's actually something I can do with the streamers offline too. It's pretty good. Get him. Ah, yes. I feel like we're approaching the same threshold that I've run into a couple of times. Yeah, Corey, I'd love if you could check the list again. Yeah. Adamantoise is going to resist essentially all damage to this spear or trident. Well, that wasn't bad. Yeah, you won't last. You're fine. 400. You're still up. Alright, there you go. Bye, Adamantoise. Yes, Corey, I'd love if you could check anything in the list. Don't feel like you have to do it, otherwise I'll take care of it. What was I saying? Yeah, it feels like we're running into the same point I got to with the podcast. Where I'm looking at it and going, ah yes, the effort threshold. At this point I need to say, yes, I'm taking this hobby thing seriously. And when I get to that point, I start to freak out a little, right? Because something in me says, okay, if you're taking it seriously, now you can fail. If it's important, you can fail it now. And now you can't just pretend, I'm just a hobbyist. I'm just derping about. You don't need to take this effort seriously. It's okay. For Adamantoise, well, it is a shame that we are straight up out of mana. You deal decent damage with that. You can Blizzard. You can thunder, okay? This magic will deal more damage against these turtles. No, it won't. Uh-oh. That's not bad. Let's continue that. And so that fear leads me to think, maybe I don't need to stream 3 times a day. Don't need to do self-promotion too much. I don't need to take it seriously because while I'm not, it feels safer. But on the other hand, how disheartening does it feel to never take what you're doing and what matters to you seriously? Isn't it more fun to say something like, I'm enjoying this streaming thing, I'm enjoying playing Pillars of Eternity and going through the plot, I'm enjoying playing Final Fantasy as a 1 and 2 so far, as a fun, chill way to experience a series I've liked from a distance? Yeah. Knight's armor. An armor given only to knights. Have fun, Maria. Laxa says your entire life is about refusing to admit anything matters. Is that satisfying? It is not, you say loudly. Fair, right? I think that's pretty legit. Can confirm this strategy. Ineffective. Makes you feel bad. Lockdown's hit my mental health pretty hard, I gotta say. It is difficult not being in the office. It's weird feeling like you're not keeping up with the same amount of work, just because your brain is worse due to isolation. I had a stressful moment at work when I thought a pattern was repeating for a bit. Luckily it wasn't. It's been resolved and we're gonna be okay, but it certainly wasn't fun to be put right back a year ago. Being employed as shit, yeah. Being unemployed as shit, yeah, Luxie, it sure is. It's terrible. I wish it was half as relaxing as all the jokes seem to pretend it is. Maria's got some magic. Yeah. It was a miss. Thanks, Tori. It was a slip of the tongue rather than a different judgment. And we all recognize that being employed in a position that actually feels worthy and gives you a meaningful connection to the work you're doing is infinitely better than just being employed doing shit. It's something that literally doesn't matter and is unrecognized as a worthy effort. I don't know. Sadly, I don't have a solution. The job market is awful, despite complaints. Hey, look what we're using our last MP for. Whoop! Sometimes seeing past actions aren't appearing on the list, you don't know why, so I should figure that out. Yeah, I can take a look at printed terms. Got an Asuna? Anyone else? Nope. See? Well, I guess we use Antidote then. Why am I doing that? Well, we're about to use Cottage, which does not restore which restores HP and MP, but I don't think it removes status effects. And we might as well get some free experience for Maria's cure by casting it on everyone before we use it, right? Seems a bit weird, but let's do it. Anyway, that's 10 o'clock. Our time has flown. That's been fantastic fun, but here we are at the end of another evening. And what I'm going to do is go and have dinner and then do some writing. Yeah. Oh, well, thanks very much for joining me, everybody. It's been a lot of fun. I'll see you again next Monday, 7 o'clock, same time. We'll play some Pillars of Eternity, do some more White March. And now that we've done the basic run around and collect quests in White March Part 2, I mean, it means we'll actually do some more quests. This Monday was fun. Check it out in the VODs if you haven't already. Like, we solved the murder and met some more Vethrak. Good fun. But we'll get some more plot of White March, and there's some fantastic talking scenes coming up in that part of the story soon, so it's going to be enjoyable. Otherwise, I'd recommend Friday night, check out Mako's channel. She's going live and streaming again. If you like her content, helping us out here in chat, it's absolutely worth joining in. Like, I'm going to be there and it will be a lot of fun. Otherwise, have a good night, everybody. And we'll see you again later.